perspective. You know what I've been doing too? I've been still working on the video game. So I get to do that simultaneously. And, this is how I've been doing it. Just capture like emotion and see if we can go a little bit wider there. Well, I could capture more emotion. It's just more. It's like not only better, it's just more comfortable. And then I can digitize everything. I have a jalapeno and I have some Pringles here. Yeah. So every little bit counts. And so for me, that's my thing. Every moment counts. Every moment. The colors are important too. Where I can see the moment. It's captured. That's kind of my prayer. What do you think so far about the time? Where it's outside of the control because people don't have education, they don't have the background, they just don't understand where they're coming from. Especially I'm engineering all day, so my mind is I'm an engineer. The challenge is dealing with those abuses, those attacks, and still pushing forward. Still like whatever. I use it as fuel. Unless I'm that much closer to the goal. For most people, slow down and hinder them. For me, it's just not that. Yeah, so being able to share that with you, it's a gift. It's amazing. So I get to see the graphics as I'm developing.
He said if I brought mine in, I found them.
I think that summarizes my perspective. Exactly. So, what can you do? Those people that are creating the abuse and the violence, they do so because they're broken inside. Life is like Tetris. You have the pieces to beat the puzzle, but you have to reorganize certain things so everything can fit. Even me eating these jalapenos is like resetting the system. Keeps everything going. I think we need bags of chips, alongside drinks, but we need magazines at the barbershop. Let me check my messages too, because I have reached out. Everybody knows. Well, another thing too is I have a choice of another place that's closer, but if I just leave earlier, I can avoid the stress and just come to my place. So sometimes, just because it's closer doesn't mean it's better or good. So even making small decisions like that, like you have to be at your best. So it's a lot of things. So very excited. I built a new type bar from the base model Corvette, and I'm gonna be releasing the new type bar series like Ray, GL6, ER1, ER1, which I have not done, but I'll do that programming by the time I get to about halfway across town. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So all the prayers, stay focused and have some pieces, knowing that things are going to get at the same time. So that's the thing about it. Like some of my neighbors just bought a Porsche for her. She's just driving downtown taking pictures. And I'm like, isn't that neat? Like, what drove that person to just be all like excited to themselves for all night? She's like, I'm about Porsche. I can't blame her. So that's how I see it. I'm about to pass one of my properties in Queens. Yesterday, I told you that a lot of nice restaurants outside. Actually, I heard on the bottom of one of my properties, there's a lot of real estate where you can sell retail. You see a lot of people going to the clubs, going to the cafe and stuff like that. It's very beautiful design. Yeah, it's like its own little unique, like, you know what it makes you think about, like, they had time to think about, they had to have, family members from across the really has changed to that. Just 5 years ago, as that construction was finishing, this was only the beginning. I can still see the construction. I cannot unsee it. So, like, I want things to be painted and bright colors and stuff like that. But I know that that takes time. As the development and the community develops, then you get more. Yeah, it's a combination of all of those things. And still having a pleasing, positive mental attitude, still go, going to push forward. So, look, so that's my perspective. Move forward every day a little bit. So, how do you be inclusive, right? Those people that have no idea what that is, right? Because that's your reality. That they don't understand it, that you speak a different language. It takes a little bit of effort to move to a downtown metropolis and be part of the vibrant things that go on inside of the world. How do you convey that to certain people that just don't, we're not going to pay the premium to have that luxury lifestyle, or let's say that quality of life? Yeah, like everything is not. I can see they do that with groceries, regular expensive. Quality of life, you really can't. It's like medicine. You just can't skimp on that. How do you discuss quality with somebody that doesn't understand the concept of quality of life? Me, I will always be willing to pay that premium to be in those environments where it's just peace free. Yeah, I'm an artist. I can't be in an environment that's not artistic or creative or constructive or positive. Like, my art cannot exist in negative chaos. My art stems from the negative chaos to bring happiness and joy. Things take time. I'm happy in the direction that I'm going in. And plus, you know what I have learned just being on tour the last 2 years? Man, I'm glad I went through all these things. Like, everything that's gonna come up for next year that people are gonna use to like distract me is like, oh, I already saw that. I already know what that is. No problem. Whatever. Life goes on. Yeah, like most people would have given up a quit, etc. I don't even speak that language. Like, I'll give you an example. Look at this real estate, right? Just the little attention, like just a little attention to detail, like the little terraces where you could put like a coffee table and chairs. Man, that is priceless. To be able to do that, you hear the train pass every time, you know, it's freaking awesome. Put like a little tent type thing, and then just spend some time with it. You know me, I would be creating content, doing all kinds of stuff out of space like that. But I can admire it. You know what I mean? I've learned to share my religion. Quality of life. Share with it. 10 to 20%. So you have a place that pays 1,500 a month, part of the neighborhood, versus a place that pays 17 or 1,800 a month, and it's perfect. Some people don't see the value, so they don't see the extra hours of commuting, the higher taxes they're paying for food and items, resources that they need in their neighborhood. And then the permanent danger, because you're living in a place that's hostile. Sometimes it works in reverse, right? Like you'll tell the person, oh, it's only $300 a month, and they'll use that to attack you and say, oh, this person is bougie, this person is bougie, this person is living outside of their means. And it's like, no, I'd rather spend 300 extra dollars on my peace of mind, quality of life, than be stuck with the stress of being in traffic. I'll give you another example. You have a property that's 80,000. You have one that's 100,000, has a beautiful backyard with a pool. If you don't see the value of having the backyard with the pool, I just The peace of mind, you know, you have nicer neighbors, you are safer outside, and so many things. You can listen to music without somebody complaining. Asking the court, you know, you can get creative. The land is going to inspire your inspiration, like your intuition, your creativity. I've learned that the hard way. Quality of life always wins. Even if it's in mental, emotional, and physical and financial stability. Also, you're part of an elite club because being around winners like that is gonna be something you embrace to mentor and model after, right? Like, man, look what my neighbors did. I can do that too. But I'm listening to somebody speaking. Look, let me just show you. There's a family playing tennis, family working out. I can name you no less than three families that went out with their babies just to wave at the train. Like that's the memories of their childhood. Think about that. You cannot put a price on that. I just waved at two babies that just so happened to be outside just enjoying the day. What are we doing? Hey, we're gonna go see the train. These neighborhoods are beautiful, landscape, and it's done. It's just like, man, listen, now, whatever it is that I'm paying every month, it's like a cheat code. Like I'm getting away with the most, you know, because I value it way more than what I pay. Now imagine there's somebody business and they're exposed to this. What are they going to think? They're never going to look at life the same. So imagine me explaining this to my mother. Look at this part right here. I bring my two PA systems. I could give them a free performance every day that I get a chance. I cannot wait. It's gonna be
Well, we gotta get our
one of
land
the
later.
first shows. There's so many families, people visiting from all over the world.
This is the Winter Park Station. Esta parada es Winter Park Station.
Can't wait. One more thing. One more thing to tell you. The speakers that I need for my studio, they're buy one get one free. The only thing is they have to be open box. You still get a warranty on them, and that's it. So that's my goal. That's what I'm going to be saving up for the next few days. Two of them. You know that I can perform every single day, everywhere I go, portable, rechargeable, no matter what. And they each come with a mic that's wired that I'm going to use to reverb the sound, like the echo. More babies everywhere. But I'm going to buy some wires. So maybe catch a butterfly, another baby wave. Everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. This was that big. There's a baby walking in the back of his parents. Man, there's a lady walking the dog. She waved. There's a coliseum there. That's where I'm gonna go from. Under that coliseum. Um, it's just fine. I need it. This is what I needed above everything. Just to see people, families, just enjoying New York City. You know, our office is right off of Old New York City. And again, just peace of mind, quality of life. Can't wait. I had enough to buy it yesterday, but I needed to go to the hospital and stuff like that. Look at the golf course. That's another thing too. I'm going to create a lot of content around people out there just playing that. Everybody minding their own business. It's like, what is it about that life, right? Like, looking at it from a plexiglass behind the window. Like, what does it take? It just takes that little 50, 20% of you. You know, paying the little extra, whatever. As a matter of fact, there's two properties that I have now here, right? And the other one, it has a pool on the 24th floor. And I live like right under it. You know what I'm saying? So every night, when I swim, kind of in the background, Wi-Fi, you can literally surf the web. I can listen to Bloomberg and Yahoo Finance while I'm in the hot tub or the pool. I'm right downstairs, a few flights into my space. That's it. How can you put a price on it? I get to see 360 view of the whole city every morning, every night. Every time I come home, every time I go. How much is that worth? How much is that worth? Can you put a price on it? It's probably between a quarter to 40% of my gross income, but it is worth 100%. On my side, and the one that goes all the way down to my end. Think about it. Throughout the week, if I'm going back and forth between the office, right? I can drive to the station, park my car, take the speed race, go to work.
How are we doing again?
Well, thank you, sir. How are you?
So it just goes to show you.
Thank you.
How you doing, Mr. Better?
I'm doing. Thank you.
Have a blessing. See you tomorrow. You said
Most
okay.
people will see me tomorrow. We start, yeah. We start, so.
So again, it's one of those things that you know what's another thing that I take part in, right? So it's not just because I'm in the business. If I could summarize everything I needed to do, the eighth generation Corvette handles that phenomenal. I don't need anything more than
I
that.
guess we get to sort
What else do I need? It doesn't have to be a top of the line. It doesn't have to be fully loaded. It could be a hard top or a convertible. I like pretty much every single one. It's reliable, it works, it's comfortable. Win, win, win. And I'm an executive, so I'm always on the go. So,
eso es
again, I'm not trying to preach the gospel, but it's like in the beginning, my perspective was let me introduce these concepts to like people that I care about. For what? Everything is a multiple stage, right? So everything's a double stage. How is it that I have the best system for less than $200? Because there's other systems that connect to it, but what makes this system unique is that if you charge it, you see, I can get a 650 watt base, but I can't bring it anywhere. I'll have to bring my own power, and I don't have that. Now, not only is it less than $200, how is it that I get them on sale for half price? And it's like the universe is like still some cost. That's some cost for itself.
Already has the us, it shows
If that was not a sign from the heavenly realm, I know what is. And I think with shipping, I should be able to get it. God willing, God first. There's a small chance I might make enough today, and if not, definitely tomorrow. So let's say we put the order in tomorrow, we'll have it no later than Friday. So this weekend is gearing up to be amazing. Now, a wireless mic, that I may have to be flexible, but I can wait. I can wait a few more days. Unless I have enough, maybe who knows? I think today I could probably get about 100. Tomorrow I could get about two. Next weekend like another two or three. So that puts me at 600. Minus I have to pay some stuff that's two something. That is 400 bucks. I can use 200 for the equipment and 200 for wardrobe and snacks, whatever I need for the clients and stuff like that.
they got
Sorry, I'm going to be able to noise in the background, but I can hear you. Well, I appreciate having an assistant, having somebody like an engineer with me. Like, you're in training and you're learning. So So with times, you get better with logistics and stuff like that. And that kind of puts everything into perspective. Like I said, we've been working on the video game system in downtime. Just imagine when you have all new equipment. And we do have some new hardware. I just don't have everything obviously at one time. But even that's pretty cool. I want you to also think about like the action cameras, like the GoPro. The resolution for the size is phenomenal. So now, how can we be creative, creating content for business, digital marketing, using that technology in a way that's like readily available, cohesive, streamlined? So let me ask you a question. Those things will connect to the main driver of YouTube. Like if I have an action camera and I want to use it for my YouTube channel, but I don't want to use my monitor camera that's built in, what would I do? I just Bluetooth from the action camera to the feed of the platform. So the actual quality of the product increases because the visual representation is going to be that much better.
This is the on-screen station. Esta parada es on-screen station.
You know what's another thing that I noticed is the fact that when you listen back to the concerts or the rehearsal, you can hear the crowd, like you can hear my fans, highlighting certain parts or like quoting certain parts of the song, like you can hear them singing along. I would like better microphones so that I can record and capture that, but with a much higher quality. Now, remember, we're not only creating content, right? As an additional layer, we're creating content when creating the content in between. So think about for some of the prototype designs on the exterior, it's still going to look like an eighth generation Corvette, but under the skin, it's the ninth gen, which is what we're already been working on in the rec. So imagine when we connect all the data points, you're going to be there in real time while we're creating the content. And all of that is going to be on the masterclasses. Yeah, so literally, it has grown into its own thing. So, a lot of the elements that we're going to use for like the home studio, or let's say the office area where we're going to like create the content, all of that will be applied to the prototype, to the actual feed of the data points, so like acceleration, engine speed, braking, yaw control, pivot, move, pitch, traction, all those systems, all that feed, we're going to have to put it on the monitor so that when we review the data, we have different checkpoints like what did the vehicle do from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m.? What was the constant speed? What was miles per gallon? What was the water engine temperature, etc. Can you repeat that concept so we can highlight it dynamic, what is it, dynamic feedback? So what about the autonomous systems and the collision avoidance programs, right? For example, inner city driving, freeway driving versus highway driving. That's one metric, right? High mass vehicles versus low mass vehicles, average speed, velocity, pivot, positioning on the grid, all those things, because those are still prone and dependent to human input. Like the system is not always going to be accurate because it needs to be calibrated every single time. So the reason why we want to build daily systems or weekly or monthly is so that we can take the average and make not a generic version, but like a baseline or model programming and then build on top of that.
This is the Longwood Station. It's the Halifax Longwood Station.
Had it, so we can make that one.
This is the Longwood Station.
Now,
It's the
now
Halifax
corporate,
Longwood Station.
they're gonna take their data points at every maintenance. So like, let's say we go every 2 to 3 thousand miles. So they're gonna get that data. We have access to it, but we can't really adjust the settings. But the day-to-day data, yes, we can definitely improve. So what we're giving them is a finished product. So you figure we're doing between 60 to 100 miles an hour. So you figure 12 hours is what, 1,200 miles. So essentially, what, every 3 or 4 days that we're on the racetrack nonstop, like we're in Daytona, we're just testing, testing, testing. We have to dump that data like every 36 hours. So like every 2 or 3 days. Also, if we do like nighttime driving and testing, that's different. So right now we're working on the Ridge Bar, which is it may be the grand sport, but that's not confirmed.
So different creators of this specifically on for that and then part time they got the plan and they wanted to these are working to security issues about security reasons. And I'm like,
Well, the good thing is also the bad thing. We have a hub right by the track, but then nighttime driving is limited. Not only on track time, you still have to drive the prototypes on the road. But nighttime testing, that's when the big dogs, the big clubs are going to be out with their most powerful cars. I personally am not comfortable with that at this moment. I feel like there's just too many variables. And I know some systems have to be tested in those extreme conditions, but I just feel that at least for the base model, we should make it performance. I think that's more realistic. Now, also remember, outside of sales and distribution, we're only in charge of the base model, which is the stake rate. So as much as I would like to contribute to other programs, even though we are part of the GT3 team, which happens to be RS, it doesn't matter. I cannot just like spend time doing this, spend time doing that, spend time. I have to stay focused. So nighttime, not the business. In real world application, that design is unparalleled. Real world. I'm not talking fastest, brightest color, highest price tag. Just all day, every day, works like a Keurig coffee machine. Set it, forget it, you don't have to worry about it. It just works.
What is it? Somehow Trump class.
Everything's gonna
You realize how much stress is free. You start to think to yourself, why did I wait so long to make this decision? Exactly. It's just going to open up so many doors. Just like driving golf, it's the same thing. So again, you look at some of these properties, they're in the million dollar range. But then again, like, when you think about it, it's kind of worth it. It is definitely kind of worth it. In the short distance, we just passed a small neighborhood. There were probably 5 homes in each one, so we passed about 5 of them. The last one had 2 or 3 houses and one in development. Nobody bought something that was already built. This person said, I'm going to build my own basement. This really what I'm going to build my. I can remember it.
Yep, we are.
Puts everything into perspective. So, it's the little things that count. It's taking it one day at a time. But it's something that I've been working on for a long time. And even though, they've moved on to a new platform, etc., you still really can't see anything below or before, I want to say 2027. I still see 20, I want to say what, 26, still going to be a year. So I think this is the final, the revisions, we're moving on this way, you know what I mean? Exactly. Exactly. So I know at least I have a nice inventory of vehicles that we can engineer with. Whatever we do from there is really up to us. As long as the company has those data points, then everything else, it's really our data if you think about it. So we're just sharing with them the overall, but not the day to day. They're not going to see every single adjustment. If that makes sense. They're going to be able to work on different aspects of it. And it's all corporate stuff. Like what I'm going to be working on is going to be a completely different system. Yeah, because I'm helping them, and they're my business partners too. Even though I'm taking on some of the engineering course, but it's not anything out of this world because the data that I'm building the systems on is priceless. You know what I mean? Truly priceless. That's always been like my perspective. Yeah, so it's one of those things. Definitely. Exactly. So, what do you think? Let's have a brief review. What do you think? Do you know that we can calculate even the cost of like a test run? We couldn't do that, 10 years ago. We know down to the penny now. That's crazy. So again, it's like, okay, how can we use these technologies to like improve every other system? I think from there, wherever the journey takes us. I'm telling you, one CEO, he kept emphasizing, what is your plan? I have no plan. What a way to keep stockholders and investors in suspense. So what is the plan? We don't know right now, sir. We're working on that right now as we speak. You know, I like the term. The journey is the plan. Right? I like that. So it's things like that. We're working on things like that. It's kind of what adds to the allure, right? You guys sure you guys are gonna figure it out? So we have a lot of vehicles to learn from. So we just chose a really cool one. What is it? Oh, the new Corvette. Oh, nice. Not bad, right? Remember, we started with a cup of coffee and the internet and two cheeseburgers. Lucky we got the cheeseburgers, right? Lucky. That's excellent. I got you right now. See you in a little bit, okay? Now, back online. Do you know that even that helps the company because all that goes to corporate, goes straight up. So when they collect the data points, it's gonna come up like it'll be part of the system. So any adjustments, that's one way that they're gonna be able to know. Now remember, we said we were gonna come up with a cool term, something that me and you will understand, but that we can introduce it to the public. But something meaning that, so we don't have to say like data point sounds so like powerful because it could be so many things. All right, so what do you think? What's your suggestion? Give me your top 10. Now, I've heard you say nuggets before. That's not bad because okay, you know what's the other term? They'll say token. Everything is a token. So like now the banks are coming in. They're like, oh, tokenization of digital assets. Tokenization. No, we need something like that. That just like we get it. Like it expresses it, but it doesn't. But it kind of does. Like okay. For example, Scooby Doo has Scooby snacks, right? I need something like that that we can say it like that we will understand the meaning like that we can say, well, you guys know the concept of Scooby snacks, right? Well, it's kind of like that, but in real life, that's hilarious. Yeah. Think about it. We can't use chicken nuggets. You already used that. We can't use that for a new one. But what would be something similar? Kind of like Pokemon cards, but not Pokemon cards. All right, so we'll give it a few weeks. Exactly. That might work. So I'm trying to think what else. Because the thing is, if we do find like a different term, we could put a different technology around it. We could market it different. So then now, like that takes us into the intellectual property realm right there. But like, okay, what do you think would be a good business opportunity? Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. In today's economy, you got to be prepared for that stuff now, day one. You know what I mean? I agree. So what do you think? Okay, let me tell you about this term. There's a term that was developed. It was inspired by the word McMuffin, right? But then when the person said the term, right, they were making like fun at a Star Wars movie, and this is like a panel of like the critics, right? But these are like the internet online video game critics, right? So somebody said McMuffin, everybody started laughing. And they said, no, it's a MacGuffin. And then boom, the word just took off and went viral after that. It's kind of like that. Yeah, so I think it's just gonna get better. Better technology, better hardware, better software, and just the overall like group effort to to make everything better. So I'm very content. Like I said, just even being able to do that, like I'm literally engineering at the same time. You know? Okay, that's a term right there. What about creativity engineering? I like that. That's a good term. Now, you also said what dynamic input collection? Is that the term? Okay. No, because look, this way I have it highlighted with a timestamp. Exactly. It's making everything better every day, every single time. So right now it's like I'm dealing with two pressurized systems. They're each right next to each other, and the one in the top is the most uncomfortable, and it feeds the other systems. And even if you take care of the other systems without that one, you're still in a challenging position, you're still in trouble. So that's how it works. You know? So we need equipment, we need tools to be able to get to. It's like we can reach up until the threshold, but right there at that moment, we have no choice but to release because trying to pursue that threshold um, kind of moves it into a position where it's comfortable and you cannot release the pressure. Yep, I agree. So that's the whole thing about it. We could have been wasting time, but we've been engineering this whole time. So yesterday, for the video game system, I did the backgrounds first, then I put the characters in the background. Well, it's not perfect, but it's it's just better than nothing. It's better than nothing. So the angle, the approach is very important because if it doesn't hit the pocket, it's just you know even a small release is huge. It's very big. You know? So, yeah, release some pressure, different area than what was the target, but that's okay because it's a little progress. It's better than no progress. Now the rest is basically hardware driven. So we're going to set up down here. We're going to piece off our live stream. We'll be back quicker than we can do this. We'll continue to engineer. Creative engineering. Peace out.